That you didn't have to be nice to people that treat you badly just to keep the peace. People who gossip about you, go call them out and ask them why they are talking about you all the time. People that are disrespectful, ask them if you gave them any reason to treat you disrespectfully. You didn't have to be nice to everyone. You also didn't have to justify anything to anyone ever. That you're not obligated to suffer in a relationship. Just because you want something to work out doesn't mean it should, or that your partner is equally committed. Being unhappy is reason enough to break up and move on. This. So much this. I watched my mom be miserable in her marriage, and I thought that it was supposed to be hard. I mean, it is with 2 little ones. However, if he doesn't put any effort into the relationship, it's not worth saving. And especially if there are kids involved, get out before one of you do something you'll regret, like cheat on your spouse. I'm only 23, but that men aren't like the movies and you shouldn't invest all your time into them. I've never been in a relationship, but I've been trying to learn to not look towards men for approval and affection, and not go into life with the expectation that I'll find the man of my dreams. I have to find my own way and make my own money and my own dreams come true, not wait for a man to make them come true. So many girls I know are giving up their lives for men and children early because that's what they've been told their whole lives makes them a person. So many girls I know are having divorces at 22. One big thing a lot of women learn way too late is that being nice isn't the same as being kind. We're often raised to please everyone, to not rock the boat, to smile even when something feels off. But being nice can trap you into saying yes when you really want to say no, or keeping quiet just to avoid conflict. You didn't have to earn rest or love. So many of us hustle like crazy thinking we need to prove our worth first. But you're already enough. You didn't have to hit some imaginary checklist before you're allowed to breathe or be happy. That we are not incapable of learning how to use tools, understanding machines, building, repairing, etc. It's more likely we just weren't introduced to that stuff as children, and as adults, it's insinuated we suck at those and should ask for a man to do it rather than learning and being confident enough to try. About menopause. Please check out our menopause, talk to the women in your family, and normalize this huge transition in half the world's population. It is under-researched, misunderstood, and somehow taboo subject which should be brought out into the light. Women shouldn't be surprised about atrophy, importance of treating hormones and supplementing them, calcium leaching from their bones increasing risk of osteoporosis, and so many other factors. One of people have supermodel bodies. It's normal and expected to have fat and curves. Also, sexism is everywhere, such as in cinema. I feel like it's practically an act of rebellion to love your body as a woman, at least in the U. Also, IMO, sensitivity, empathy, and being warm are nurturing are strengths our society may misunderstand and devalue. However, too much empathy and sensitivity can be harmful, and people who are more narcissistic can take advantage of you for this. You need to be careful who you give your energy to. You are not the exception. You love them now, and you might get lucky and have an amazing life with them. Even so, have your own separate accounts and finances. Put things in your name. Have your own interests. It is fucking hard starting all over with nothing. You didn't need to have a man or have kids to be happy. Being single and child-free doesn't make you less of a woman. Society can fuck themselves. Also, didn't take care of a woman or be tied down to a woman because of money. Make your own money. I got married when I was almost 30. I thought I knew it all. I made more than my partner. I didn't rush. Then I had twins and he had promotion by that time. I was a military wife, so my career stalled to accommodate his career. He cheated and left, and that left me in a bind with 2 one-year-olds. I would say always work if you can work. Always have your own income. Always have your own career. Even if it is part-time. Don't be fooled by the temptation to not work because of childcare costs if possible. You do not want to end up on the other side. Got my degree at age 41 when my kids were just turning 4. Set yourself free. Anything about their bodies. In school we're never taught about the whole menstrual cycle, only periods, and those are taught badly anyway. For myself, I didn't know anything about my body or anatomy, the names of parts, names of my own cycle, different positions for intercourse, etc. etc. Since I've gotten my first boyfriend, he's been the one to somehow know about it and help me when I have questions, as well as online forums like Reddit and Quora. Feminine body health has such a taboo around it, and it needs to be fixed so that young ladies around the world can not only feel comfortable in their skin, but feel comfortable to at one point share it with others if they wish. I'm a man, but I've heard from a lot of women, and can draw from my own experiences, that a lot of women girls aren't taught much about sex or their bodies until way later than they should be. Some women learned in adulthood that they don't pee out of their vagina, and some don't know about the existence of their own clitoris, because these things are so taboo to talk about. I think sex education should really be something that's taught more, but a lot of parents are so prudish about it, they would rather ban all talk at all. A man can hate you, I mean having almost complete indifference to whether you live or die, and still be in a romantic relationship with you and act normal. But if you ask him what he likes about you as a person, trust and believe that he will give you answers that just talk about how you make everything in his life easier and carry the mental and emotional load on both your behalves. If you've got kids, he'll tell you you're a great mother to them. But his answers will speak of your utility and not your spirit. And that's how you know he only loves you for what you do for him and not for who you are. He can do this for years, decades. It would be sort of admirable if it weren't so sickening and shattering and exploitative. Learn about endometriosis. If you suspect you have it, write down your symptoms. If the drive doesn't take you seriously, go to as many as it takes until you find one that does. The sooner it's detected, the better. I went 20 years having it, but never diagnosed. I complained about my symptoms and was told periods hurt. If I had been diagnosed early in life, I might have had the chance to be a mother. Learn about PMIT. 1 in 10 women have it. It is extremely common in women that are on the neurodivergent spectrum. I got my diagnosis at age 43, and it explained so much of my life. My life would be completely different if I had known about it. There is treatment. Just because someone falls in love with you does not mean you are required to love them back. I spent a great deal of my life thinking that if they love me, that's all that's required for us to be in a relationship, and I should feel lucky to be loved. That most of us live in our own mental prison of I should based on what we believe to be expected of us. But really it's our own mental rules keeping us from protecting our boundaries and being a more authentic version of ourselves. The article "You Can Run the Dishwasher Twice" was a life changer. That in therapy. Being married and having kids isn't for all women, and that's okay. You can pick your path in life. I'm a 52-year-old guy, but it pains me how so many ladies feel they need to say sorry for so much tedium. I always try to respond with, there is absolutely nothing to be sorry for, or something supportive. I don't want to diminish, but also don't want anyone to feel like they've inconvenienced me and are required to atone for it. It's truly an odd aspect to us social dynamics. Conversely, my wife is European, and I'd be stunned if she apologized for accidentally cutting off my toe. Having children is an option, not an obligation. I know too many women in my grandmother's generation who had kids because they thought they had to, not because they wanted them. They are shockingly supportive when I tell them I'm child-free. Keep in mind that birth control for American single women was legalized in 1972. Keep in mind that birth control for American single women was legalized in 1972. You didn't owe anyone your time or smile.